Today we have 3 stories that are going to make your blood boil. First up, a 14-year-old gets trapped in a car with an ant from hell, and it ends with hands around a throat and a trip to the hospital. Then, a notary who is done being everyone's doormat gets begged to do one last favor for the biggest bully in the room. And finally, a Disney-obsessed grandma who booked a vacation for kids that aren't even hers, then had the nerve to send someone else the bill. Buckle up because these people have zero shame, and you get to decide who's really in the wrong. First up, a teenager on the autism spectrum is asking if it makes them the bad guy for refusing to forgive the aunt who put them in the hospital. So, last summer, I was staying in my grandpa's house for a bit, and when it came time to go home, he asked my aunt to drive me and my friend who had come with me to another town where we would meet my mom, and then me and my friend would go home with her. At this time, I was 14, and my aunt was maybe in her mid-30s, not sure. I'd also like to note that I am on the autism spectrum, as my actions may make more sense with that info in mind. It became apparent very quickly that this drive was going to be horrible. We have very conflicting political beliefs and views on many things that I am extremely passionate about. We argued a lot. Anytime I would try to ask her to stop talking so I could calm down, she would just keep going. Honestly, I had never really been put in a situation like this before, so I wasn't sure how to handle it, how to stay calm and regulate my emotions, etc. So there's that. At one point, she stopped to get gas, and I saw a cool-looking bug next to the car, so I got out to pick it up because I quite like bugs and wanted to see what kind it was. She turned around and started screaming at me that I was hurting it and I needed to put it down and I was being cruel. All I was doing was holding it in my hand and looking at it, but okay. Then, while driving, she realized her speaker was dead, and instead of just plugging it in and waiting for it to charge, she decided to go to Walmart and get a whole new speaker. She left me, my friend, and her French bulldog who already can barely breathe in a hot car for at least 5 minutes for this. The entire car ride, I was very on edge due to her reckless driving. She was swerving a lot, wasn't keeping her hands on the wheel or eyes on the road as much as one should while on the highway, refused to wear her seatbelt, and is arguing with and yelling at me all the while. Needless to say, I was very anxious and unable to regulate my emotions. After 3 hours in this car, we finally got to the town we were going to meet my mom in. My aunt refused to go to where we had agreed to meet, and it really stressed me out because I thought that was the plan, and I also don't really know this town, so it was nearly impossible to give my mom any directions. After stopping at a drive-thru to get a burger, while I was panicking over how long we were taking, my aunt pulls over on some random road I can't see a sign for, so I have no clue where we even are. I'm sobbing at this point. She gets out of the car and walks away, so I can't even try to ask her for info to tell my mom. Eventually, my mom is able to get sort of close to where the car is, and my aunt comes back to the car. My friend leaves to go try and find my mom. My aunt starts talking again. I don't even remember what she was saying, but I know it was something dumb and that she was probably yelling again. I was crying and screaming, telling her to stop talking, and she just wouldn't. I didn't know what to do, and eventually I leaned forward and hit her twice on the back. I'm not proud of that, and I know I shouldn't have done that, but I was in such a panicked and emotional state I didn't really think. I just wanted her to stop. I leaned back in my seat, still sobbing. She leaned back and wrapped her hand around my neck. I couldn't breathe at all. I was trying to get her hands off of me, but I couldn't. She was yelling, but I don't really remember what. I just know she was swearing at me. I don't really know how long it was until she let go, but my vision had almost gone completely black before she did. I was very shocked and needed a second to process what just happened and to catch my breath. At this point, my friend had found my mom and was leading her back to the car. I got out, and I ran to them and told them what happened. I ended up pressing charges against my aunt, and I had to get some stuff done at the hospital to make sure she hadn't caused any serious damage to my throat. The bruising was bad. It didn't go away for maybe 2 weeks. We had to take photos of the bruising every day to keep as evidence. We also ended up having to take pictures of my hands to show the lack of bruising, because once my aunt became aware of me pressing charges, she started lying and saying that I had punched her really hard in the head. Mind you, my position in the car wouldn't have even allowed that. Fast forward to now, my grandpa wants me to forgive her. She still lives on his property, and I was planning on going to visit him because I was told she would be out of town, but I guess that was a lie. My grandpa is saying that she's sorry and that not forgiving her doesn't do anything good for me. He says I should go visit him anyways and that it's fine. Is he right? I really do not know at this point. I guess it would be better for the family if I let go of this grudge, and if I didn't have to avoid family things just because she's there, but I don't know if I feel safe around her. This might be messed up to say, but I feel like if I had to see her again, I'd probably attack her. Should I just forgive and forget? Am I in the wrong here? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "You could have died. No, your aunt isn't safe to be around. Your grandpa should absolutely not be putting you in that position, and you need to not visit him again, at least until the court case is done. Another commenter said, you are under no obligation to forgive anyone. Meet with your grandpa somewhere else, somewhere public, and leave immediately if your aunt shows up with him. The comments are firmly, overwhelmingly on this kid's side. A lot of people are saying you don't owe forgiveness to someone who choked you until you couldn't see. But what do you think? Should they forgive and forget, or keep their distance? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. Next up, a notary is asking if they'd be the jerk for finally refusing to do a favor for the most toxic parent in their kid's program. I'm a notary, and my kid is in a school-sponsored program that requires notarized medical forms to participate. All the parents with kids in the program are volunteers and are asked to help out with uniforms, equipment, fundraising, etc. There's another parent that is completely awful to everyone and incredibly difficult. They frequently get in arguments with other parents in the group chat outside of school channels, calling names, arguing, and recently they called someone a Jew as a slur in an argument over props. This kind of behavior has been going on for almost 2 years with no repercussions that I'm aware of. I resigned from the board, stating I wasn't going to be part of a group that allowed this kind of hate without consequences. The president begged me stay and said the director has the last say in what will happen. Since this last incident happened last month while the band director has been out with a new baby at home, I'm unaware if it was brought to their attention. Bringing me to my current situation, this parent has demanded in the group chat that a notary be present when they pick up their kid from practice today, as they don't have time to go to their bank during the day. This is for an event happening later this week, so the forms have to be completed. The band president begged me to bring my stamp to take care of this, and I absolutely do not want to. I don't want to be the bigger person. I agreed saying I'll be there at pickup time, but will not stay if they're late. Would I be the asshole if I told the band president I changed my mind? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, but you need to actually start walking your talk instead of continuing to fold to peer pressure. Another commenter said, this right here. Stop backing down. This guy's a bully. Stop letting him walk all over you all. The comments are cheering this one on. Pretty much everyone says stop folding and stop letting the bully win. But where do you land? Would you bring the stamp or leave them hanging? If you're enjoying these stories so far, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And finally, a Disney addict grandma booked a trip for her grandkids without asking anyone, and then tried to hand the parents the bill. My mom is a Disney addict. Seriously, it's a problem. And just told me she booked a trip to take my kids in November. She didn't even ask, and then told me I'd have to pay for their airfare. My husband and I have been consistently helping my mom with her bills for like 6 months. I told her no, absolutely not, because not only can she not afford it, but I don't want to pay for the airfare when we have a large family trip to Disney booked for November of 2027. She's going on that trip as well. She's making me feel like a bad mom for not letting my kids go, but I can't justify it. She also keeps mentioning it to my kids, and now they want to go even after I asked her to stop bringing it up because I said no. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, my goodness, she's entitled and bold. Another commenter said, and writing checks that her ass can't cash. I'd suggest telling mom to calm down in several ways, or that helping with the bills will get much more difficult. The comments are not buying grandma's guilt trip. They're calling her entitled and telling this mom to hold the line. But what's your verdict? Is she the bad guy, or is grandma out of line? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. And that's a wrap on today's stories. I really want to know where you landed on each one. Was the strangling aunt beyond forgiveness? Should the notary finally stand their ground? And is that Disney grandma totally out of pocket? Drop your verdicts down below, and let's argue about it in the comments. I've got a whole pile of even crazier stories lined up for next time, so I'll see you in the next one.